C, Gregory del Rosario. We just got joined by Stephanie Infante. She is joining us online. And so welcome to the Budget and Finance Committee meetings. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Act of 2022, this meeting of the Budget and Finance Committee is being conducted both in person and via remote participation. A reminder that a person who would like to listen or to view this meeting while in progress might either attend to the location above or any of the following access locations: the Facebook Lawrence City Council page, as well as the YouTube Lawrence City Council page. So please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. We have full quorum tonight. We have no minutes to approve at this point, and on the agenda we have 3 different items that are going to be discussed tonight, plus any other items that any councilor would like to bring up from the table matters. The first item on the agenda is item 7923, which is the authorization to spend grant funds from fiscal year 2023, the Seniors Safe grant of $9,458. The fire chief, Brian Mariari, is here with us tonight. So, Chief, welcome again to the Budget and Finance Committee. Expand a little more on this grant and how that's going to benefit the city of Lawrence.
Sure. Good evening, councilors. Nice to see you. This comes from the Department of Fire Service. It's called SAFE, Senior Safe. We pretty much get it every year. What it stands for is the SAFE is safety and fire education, and we go for the 2 high-risk age groups, which are the young children and the elderly. Those are what statistics show are the greatest risk and have the most problems. So we aim at that. We teach one of the grades. We have some firefighters very well educated in this, have taken courses at the academy. So this grant allows us to pay them to go in and teach the education, as well as we'll go into some of the housing authorities complexes. Plus, we also try to do some public events, tables, brochures, education that way. And we've started a little thing this year. I began, because we have so many fires from cigarettes that will be given out while they last. We don't have that many. These little metal buckets with the Lawrence fire patch on them, and they say, fill with water and sand to this level. When it's up to this level with the cigarette butts, throw it away, properly, but at least it's a metal bucket, so it puts the cigarettes out all the way out. We have a lot of fires start from careless disposal. So these are the kind of things that we'll teach in the SAFE, Senior Safe program. A lot of it's risk reduction, especially for the elderly. If they would have a little scatter rug that would be a trip hazard, guys would teach them about that. Not leaving the stove, pot holders out, that kind of stuff.
All right, so essentially this grant is basically for everything we see when we go to different events, the promotional part of that fire prevention program of that fire department?
That's a good part of it, and a good part of it will be in this, you won't see because it will be in the schools, but.
So do you guys rotate different schools, or you guys tend to touch every single one?
We do try to hit. We try to hit the same grade in all the schools that have it. So like maybe the 3rd grade, try to hit every 3rd grade.
Okay. All right, great. So, councilors, there is any question in regard to 7923? I hear none, so I entertain a motion at this point.
Motion to approve and send it to the full council with favor recommendation.
There's a motion on the table, properly second. I call the question at this point. Councilor Infante?
Yes.
Councilor Rosario?
Yes.
And Councilor Levy?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Motion passed. The second item on the agenda we have tonight is item 8023, which is the authorization to spend grant funds, assistant firefighters grant of $831,818.18. Again, the fire chief is here with us tonight, so if you can expand a little more, we highly appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Again, and thank you for the last one. This one is the Assistance to Firefighters Grant, known as AFG. It's a federal grant. We apply for them every year. We really didn't think we were going to get it this year. We were quite thrilled that we did, but we've put in for what's called a Quint, which is a ladder truck with a pump and water tank on it. South Broadway, Ladder 4 runs a single company house at present, so we don't get the insurance credit for it for not having a pump and water, but we do get the ladder credit. This truck will replace our old Quint, which is 26 years old. It'll allow Ladder 4 to become a reserve truck, and this new Quint will run out of South Broadway, giving us the ISO credit that we need to help lower people's fire insurance ratings, as well as improve response time in the fact that at that section of the city, Ladder 4 showing up first will have water. So if the firefighters get there and decide right away they need to attack the fire because the next pump is too far behind them, they'll have that ability. I'm quite pleased with this because this is also the last truck since I've taken over as fire chief that has been in service that will be replaced. This will be the 7th piece of apparatus in service, which is all of them. I'm quite proud of that and quite pleased, but this grant, unfortunately, is not a 100% grant. It never was. It was always supposed to be a match. Somehow, I think their formula is a little off because they thought we put in for too much money, so they lowered the amount of the grant that they give out, thinking we overestimated the cost of the truck, and we did not overestimate the cost of the truck. In fact, they've gone up since then, as everything else has, including eggs. So we are going to have to come up with some more, but it's still less than half that we have to come up with. We'll have to come up with about 40%, which is approximately $600,000, which I'm looking for to work with the mayor and the administration to figure out where we're going to get that. Mr. Iannello is quite pleased with this. He feels that it's a very good deal. It's too good to walk away from. And I have to agree because the truck is going to be approximately $1.3 odd million, and we also have to, as part of the grant, have a certification class, driver training certification class as part of that grant, and I'm quite certain that we'll probably need a total of approximately 1.45, but we'll have hard numbers with the mayor when we move to try to find the balance. But again, it's over $800,000. I think it's a great thing for the city for us to be able to replace that truck. That's pretty much it, unless you have any questions on it.
How long it might take for us to?
Oh, I
actually
was
get the
able to
truck?
finagle and work and talk to some dealers, and I found one, we can have it in 9 months. Most places are telling everybody 2 years from the day you sign a contract. The truck I found is in progress, and we'll have it in January.
Great.
So I'm quite pleased with that, too.
Councilors, any questions in regard to this grant? Councilor Levy.
So you said that you're gonna need at least $1.4 million for the trucks?
Total.
Just only for the truck or for?
Well, truck, equipment, and the training.
And the training.
I don't, it's one point, like, I think it need 1.45. We haven't figured out the hard pennies yet. We getting an estimate for the training class and haven't got that back yet. But that's not from the city, that's the total amount. So the 800,000 comes out of that 1.4.
Yeah.
The city will need like
It's
six
gonna get
something.
like
$6 something.
$6 million. So, and the truck,
600.
600,000,
Yeah.
okay. And the truck is going to be located on the main,
South Broadway.
on South Broadway?
South Broadway, ladder 4. It'll have a ladder on it. It'll be a ladder truck, and it'll have a pump with a hose and water. So it'll be able to do both tasks. There's only going to be the same crew on it, so they'll have to pick and choose which task they're going to take, depending on the risk-benefit analysis. When they arrive on scene, the officer will quickly assess and decide what he's going to do, but it has the capability to do both.
It's got,
Is it going to what? Oh, it fits, yeah, oh, absolutely. They've all fit, regardless of what anybody read in the paper. When they took a picture of the truck saying it wouldn't fit in the station, it was actually in the station when they took a picture of it. So,
Because I just remember when we got a letter, so many, many years ago,
Oh,
so they said maybe we need to rebuild the complete
Well,
fire.
I'm not gonna say we don't need to fix our fire stations. The floor is held up 100% of staging over there, but that's another issue. It'll fit,
You're gonna
made
fit.
sure of that.
All right, thank you.
It's a good question, though.
Councilor, any other question?
Yeah, I got it,
Councilor Rosario?
through you, Chair. And I was gonna go through that. I actually took a walk on the South Station, and the floor is kinda
It's terrible.
wobbly. So are we gonna put a brand-new truck in there prior to fixing the floor?
Yeah, it's held up 100% with staging underneath in the basement. But the city knows, and in fact, just this week, I was with the DPW director and one of the administration's people talking about the CIP and invited them to come over and look at it to try to come up with a way to get it replaced. I do want it replaced, but it would be perfectly safe on that floor because it's held up 100% by staging. We actually park 2 ladder trucks over there now.
Councilor Infante, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. Through you, Chair, I just have a comment. Just today, I was actually speaking to Representative Francisco Paulino regarding the South Lawrence Ladder 4 station and the current state of it. So we'll be having those conversations, Chief, once those discussions start. Obviously, you would be brought in, but we are aware of the other issues that station, back to Councilor Del Rosario's concerns, that are the current. I just wanted to make it a point that I did actually have that conversation today with our representative.
Okay, with
So
who-
you have,
Could I just ask who she had the conversation with? I couldn't hear. Molino? Excellent, yes. And I'll take you for a tour anytime you want, Counselor. It's, the station's had a lot of work done to it. We've had the whole upstairs painted, the guys put in a new kitchen, we have a new roof on it, but the floor does need to be replaced.
Yeah, visitation that we have.
any other question?
One further comment, Chair?
Sure.
Yes. Really in need of a tour, but I'm happy to hear about this truck. I know it's another need within the community, and I'm glad that it's going to be stationed at the South Broadway location. It's just one of many things moving forward to help Ladder 4 progress, and definitely I've heard the concerns. I've had firefighters come to me, and particularly to talk about concerns, and I know the chief is well aware of it, but this is definitely the right direction forward, and I'm definitely looking forward to having these further discussions.
Excellent, thank you.
Chief, what's the status of the mural that is up there?
Mural?
Yeah.
I'm not involved in it. Lieutenant Flynn, retired Lieutenant Flynn, found a company and an artist who they took it down and they're redoing it. They're not eliminate, they're just fixing it and make it better. I don't have a current status, but he did tell me that it would be a few months, that the gentleman working on it was gonna take at least 3 months to work on it, and then they'll put it back.
Yeah, it is important to recognize that every year we celebrate,
I'm sure
we
it'll
do
be
the
back.
memorial of that 9/11 event at that location, and the mural look beautiful for years. Now they retouching it and fixing it, which we're very glad and fortunate to have
We are.
those type of help.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be back for September, so I think that'll be great.
Councilors, any other questions in regard to this matter?
So with a favorable recommendation.
So moved.
It is a motion on the table, properly second. You second the motion, right? Now I call the question. Councilor Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Levy?
Yes.
Councilor Infante?
Yes.
And the chair vote yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is item 8433. It's a payment of prior year invoice medical billing of $11,804.41 and another bill of $4,884.50. It was put together by Denise Hernandez, the COO of the Lawrence Public Schools. So Denise, allow us to understand what happened.
Good evening, councilors. Thank you for having me here this evening. Yes, on behalf of Lawrence Public Schools, we're submitting this in the fall of 2021. We went to bid for Medicaid billing services that provides the city of Lawrence with reimbursements for students that have health needs that are required under their individual education plan, so under their IEP. Although the bid was awarded to a new vendor, and during this transition to the new vendor, we missed 2 payments to the previous vendor, the New England Medical Billing, which one of the bills totals the $16,688.91 that were for services that were rendered last year. And given that this payment are for previous year, that's why we're here before you to seek an approval or favorable recommendation to send to the full council so that we can honor the services that the prior vendor did render to us while we were in transition to procure and contract with a new vendor to provide these services.
All right, councilors, there's any question in regard to this? I hear none, so it is important to recognize that these billings are going to be paid under the Lawrence Public School budget, not necessarily under the Lawrence General Fund budget, correct?
No, correct. It will be, Lawrence Public Schools would pay, it's just Medicaid billing that we do that comes back to the city, but Lawrence Public School will pay for these invoices, correct?
All right, councilors, any questions in regard
Yes.
to this? Councilor Levy.
Why this bill were late? Those bills, why?
Yeah, no, so what happened is, last year, we were in the process of seeking a new vendor to provide these services. While we were procuring and doing the contracting for the new vendor, the old vendor was still providing services, and we failed to liquidate the services of the old vendor, and we started our services with a new vendor. So this is just invoices. This is an invoice that is owed to the old vendor for services that they did render. We missed in the transition of the old to the new. We missed entering a requisition and submitting a purchase order to be able to pay for these invoices. And now that as we're doing the reconciling of our systems, we saw this mist of payments, and that's why we're here tonight.
And this vendor never asked you to pay them or send a new bill for that?
It was too late for us. That's why we're here today, because when it was brought up, and because we're already into a new year, we've been into a new year, we weren't able to issue payment. This is our process to come to you to give us the approval to be able to make that payment. So before the June 30th of 2022, so by June 30th, 2022, the vendor didn't, and we missed. So I have the email. So around August, September, perhaps, is when we received a notice that this was a bill that had not been paid. So that's why we're putting this forward to you.
Okay, thank you.
Councilors, there is any other question in regard to this item? I hear none, so I entertain a question at this point. Motion.
Motion to approve and send it to the full council with favorable recommendation.
Right, there is a motion on the table, properly second. Any discussion? I hear none. I call the questions. Councilor Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Levy?
Yes.
Councilor Infante? Councilor Infante?
Yes.
And I vote yes. So, Councilor, we have no more items tonight.
Thank you, councilors.
I entertain a motion at this point.
Motion to adjourn? I will withdraw my motion.
Thank you, Council. President or Council Chairman, I would like to get item out of table and for withdraw. That is, item 35519.
All right.
This is a salary increase between 2.3 to 3% to all city employees that make it less than 50,000 a year, and that was submitted by Council Analytic.
All right, there is a motion on the table to, there is a motion on the
Second.
floor to untable item 35519. Properly second, I call the question. Councilor Infante? Councilor Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Levy?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Councilors, what is the intention of this item?
The intention for this item is for withdraw because we already got the increase of the salary by Mayor Brian De Peña, so it's no need to have it in here.
All right, there is, do you want to make that as a motion?
As a motion, just for withdraw.
Second.
All right, there is a motion on the table, properly second, discussion. I hear none, so I call the question. Councilor Infante? Yes. Councilor Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Levy?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Any other, any item from the table matters that we would like to discuss? What's the next item?
I would like to hear about item, and take it out of table, item 27615. Is the review of the Museum Square parking garage.
There is a motion on the table, there is a motion on the floor to untable item 27615. Properly second. I call the question. Councilor Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Levy?
Yes.
Councilor Infante? And I vote yes. So item 27615 is the review of the Museum Square parking garage. It was put together back in 2015 by Councilor LaPlante. So Councilor, what is your intention?
My intention is that the Museum Square was already fixed, and I would like to send it to Council President LaPlante just to give it to us some information on why we are keeping this in here. Otherwise, I think so that we should withdraw this from.
Do you
The-
want to send a correspondence to the mayor's office to figure it out, the finance portion of that Museum Square parking garage?
Yes.
All right, do you want to make that as a
Chair?
motion?
Yes.
Chair, the plan is right here, so can we have him?
Yes, sir. What's the item again? I'm sorry. You want to take that out, because that thing is up and going out? Let's withdraw it then. I think we're good. Yeah. It's certainly within the council's prerogative if she's looking to get more information, so I don't want to stand in the middle of that. That's fine.
Okay, so we can send it, well, I would like to send it to the full council once. So, and we should receive we can send the correspondent to the mayor office and get information on the estado and also for withdraw.
All right, the first thing on the item will be to send correspondence to the mayor's office to figure it out, to get an update on the financial portion of the Museum Square parking garage. By the way, 88 Museum Square Garage now is, we changed the name. And also to send it to the full council. So there's 3 motions.
Yes.
So the first motion is to send correspondence to the mayor's office to get an update on the financial portion of the garage. That's your motion, right?
That's the first one.
Can I hear a second one on that? All
Second.
right, any discussion? All right, there is a motion on the table to send correspondence to the mayor, to the administration that we just mentioned. So I call the questions, Councilor Infante? Councilor Infante.
Yes.
Okay. Councilor Rosario,
Yes.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
and I vote yes. So the second motion would be to send it to the full council to review that information, assuming, right?
Yes.
And then the third question, the third motion would be to for withdraw in case after we review it.
Yes.
All right, two more motions to send it to the full council for the review of the update. Can you hear a second?
Second.
All right, there is any question in regard to this? All right, there is none. I call the question, Councilor Infante. We have some difficulties hearing Councilor Infante at this point. Councilor Rosario,
Yes.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
and I vote on the affirmative. The next question will be, okay, she voted yes. The next question will be, the next motion will be to withdraw the review of the report, correct?
After review of the report.
All right. So can I hear a second? All right, there's any question on this matter? All right, I call the question, Councilor Infante. She votes yes. Councilor Rosario,
Yes.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Councilor, there is any other item on the agenda that we would like to
Yes.
discuss? What is the next item?
Item 34218. It's a payment cost recovery agreement review. Council Vice President at the moment, was you. So,
There is a motion on the table there is a motion on the floor to untable item 34218. Properly second, I call the question, Councilor Infante. Councilor Rosario,
Yes.
and Councilor Levy,
yes.
and I vote on the affirmative. If I might, councilors, back then in 2018, we actually have a payment cost recovery agreement with the different utility companies. At that point, National Grid, Columbia Gas, and other utility companies that actually do work in the city of Lawrence, that every year are in the process of cutting our road and paving them. And what the city of Lawrence do, we have an agreement with them when they're required to pave from curve to curve, and they don't do that. So what the city of Lawrence do is that we get a specific amount of dollars from them for us to be able to do the work, instead of them doing it like portion by portion. At that point, I didn't believe that the current formula that we were using was on the side of the city, and that's why I was requesting for review. At this point, what we can do, because I know that we're currently doing this, what we can do is we can send this a request to the DPW director so they can give us an update as of what they're doing today and compare to what happened in the past to see if that formula have changed. And if it's not, so I'm pretty sure that they will take recommendation in terms of ensuring that the city of Lawrence is on the positive side when it comes to this type of situations. So, councilors, if you want, we can send correspondence to the DPW director so we can have a current update as of 2022-23 and the current agreement we have with the different public utility companies.
Are you doing as a motion right now?
I can't.
Okay, so I do it as a motion
All right,
to
then-
send correspondence to Director of DPW to give information on what are they doing at this point on this regard.
all right, there is a motion on the table. Can you hear a second? Second. Properly second. Any discussion? I hear none. I call the question. Councilor Infante? Say yes. Councilor De Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Levy?
Yes,
Chair vote on the affirmative. Can I get a motion to table item 34218?
second,
All those in favor, please say aye.
aye.
I call the question. Councilor Infante? Councilor De Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Levy?
Yes,
And I vote yes. So any other item I would like to take out of the table matters tonight? I hear no, so I will entertain any other motion.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, there is a motion to adjourn. I call the question. Councilor Infante? Councilor De Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Levy?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Thank you so much, Councilor, and I see you sometime.
Councilor.
Good evening and welcome to the Housing Committee. Today is Wednesday, March 29, 2023. Voting members to my right, we have and welcome to the council chamber and to this job, Rich Russell. He is replacing Councilor Payano, second part of the term. And welcome, Rich. Welcome, and thank you for joining the Housing Committee. I know that we're going to be doing a lot of questioning on this committee. To my right, we also have Councilor District C, Councilor De Rosario. And to my left, I have Councilor at Large Celina Reyes. I'm the Chair, Giovanni Rodriguez, Councilor District D. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Act of 2022, this meeting of the Housing Committee is being conducted both in person and via remote participation. A reminder that a person who would like to listen or to view this meeting while in progress might either attend in person at the location above or use any of the following access locations: Facebook, Lawrence City page, and YouTube, Lawrence City page. Lawrence City Council page, and YouTube, Lawrence City Council page. So please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, councilors, we have one item. Councilors, we have one item on tonight's agenda. This is item 8523, which is the reversal of vote of 8 Bradford Place. The tax map and the lot will be provided in a second. It is also related to document number 31922. We was put together by Francisco Rodrillo, the Assets Officer of the City of Lawrence. Francisco, welcome again, and tell us more about what happened here.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Council Chair. Frank Cirillo, Asset Officer for the City of Lawrence, so Methuen Street. After further review of the area, and this is 8 Bradford Place map, 166, lot 41, 3,107 square feet.
Can you please repeat the map, lot, and the lot for the record?
166, 41. Square feet is 3,107.
You might continue.
The area is, if you ever gone through there, is very congested. A lot of trucks that doesn't allow even flow of traffic in that area. So we're looking to reverse the vote, then to further study, see what would be the better use for this particular parcel.
It is important to recognize that this lot was voted in before to be to be disposed to the border right next to it, right next to that parcel.
Through the yard sale process.
And some time ago, that was like what, 4 or 5 months ago?
It was about September. Yes.
September, and it didn't go through for some reason. The mayor, I believe, didn't sign on it.
He didn't sign off on it because, like I said, he wants to take a better study of what will be a better use for the parcel, especially where there's a lot of vehicles that have to park or buses that go through. There is a school, not even a block over, where school buses go through there, or parents have to park there, and it congests the area. And right now it's being used as a parking lot. The butter has enough space on the opposite side of her house in order to accommodate parking for her tenants as well as green space.
All right. It was declared surplus, so currently
Correct.
we have it as a surplus. So the city have no use for it. It was disposed to the border, it didn't go through. So now we back again to reverse the vote that we took back in September. Back then, it was not the same configuration of this board, so we are expecting a little bit of a change on that. But with that said, councilors, there is any particular questions in regard to this item? I do have a question. That's within my district. That's to locate people as of where that is specifically. It is right at the corner of Bradford and West. That's right around the charter school that is located right
Correct.
behind the charter school currently. And at some point, the charter school present interest to build a community garden to have it as part of the program that they have there with the kids. I don't know if that could be taken into consideration, but it is essential that we build green spaces around, especially if you have a purpose. But let's see what's the new proposal. At this point, Councilor, we have a motion in front of us to reverse the vote that we took back in September of 8 Bradford Street, and the location for the record is map 166, lot 41. So, councilors, when we take a vote, we have to specify that to take into consideration the exact location. So, councilors, at this point, if there is no more question or any other question, I will entertain a motion.
What is it, motion to approve or motion to reserve the vote?
Motion will be to reverse the reversal of the vote of that we took back in September. Do you remember the day exactly? September, that we took back in September 26, in regard to 8 Bradford Street, map 166, lot 41. That's the motion.
Motion to reverse vote that we took on September 26th?
Yeah.
September 26th on parcel that is located at 8 Bradford Place, with tax map 166, lot 41.
Second.
There is a motion on the table, properly second. At this point, I open for questioning. If there's any question in regard to this? I hear none, so at this point, I call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I call the roll call. Councilor Rosso.
Hold on one second. Sorry. Rescind the vote, not reverse it.
So, can we amend the motion to rescind the vote?
Motion to rescind the vote, yep. Amend the vote, yep.
All right. All right. There's a motion on the table, properly second. At this point, I will call the roll call. Councilor Rosso.
Present.
Councilor Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor De Rosario.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Now we're gonna, so essentially it's to send this over for a vote to be resent
Correct.
to the
Thank
full
you.
council. So see you next week? On the
Yes.
4th?
On April 4th. City council level.
I just have a question, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask you afterwards,
Go
but
ahead.
since you looked at me. So, we're gonna rescind this vote that took place last year, which I understand that. And what are you gonna put in, I guess what I didn't hear was, what are you gonna put in its place? what's going, so the vote that we had, I think, was to, through you, Mr. Chair, was to go ahead and to,
We send the vote, then we're gonna vote to see.
before in September, the vote was for what? You were supposed to, what was the vote for in September? that we were
Back
sending?
then, it was
To
to
a
sell
yard
it.
sale,
Yeah.
right.
To
A
the yard
direct disposition to an abutter, right, for a yard sale. It's not we're rescinding that. And so at this point, it's just gonna be an empty blank spot there that the city owns. You don't have somebody else, you don't have something else planned for that parcel. I guess that's my question.
Yeah, that was part of the, so, a little bit part of the discussion, and I asked him to consider the green,
Yeah.
the
So
green
I'm gonna,
space.
based on the chair's recommendation, I'm gonna reach out to the school to see if they still are interested in the property.
I appreciate it.
And but that's not gonna be sold as a yard sale. If they are interested, then it'll be more of a direct disposition than a yard sale.
Understood, whatever we have to do, it's up to the administration to decide what program to use.
Okay.
At this point, councilors, there is any other, no more motions, no more items that we need to discuss tonight, so if there is any, table matters that we would like to discuss, I entertain any type of question at this point.
Through you, Chair, motion to on table 107-21.
All right, there is a motion to untable 10721, properly second, I call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you for untabling this. If you mind, Francisco, we have this item in front of us. That is a 100 Summer Street for some councilors. I would like to give a little bit of background on this property. This is the school that is located at close to Jackson Street. It's been vacant for quite some time. And we have sent correspondence to every department, and the school department have present interest to actually do something in regard to this property. Currently, I have seen a situation going on the lot of this location without, without proper notice to the city, perhaps, or not official notice to the city. So I would like to get an update on this matter, and also to see if the school department would like to continue. As we all know, the Lawrence Public School is in the need of more space. Lately, we have two projects that is above $300 million. And this is a location that is a very central location, and we wouldn't like this place to be used for something else other than school, since they have present interest when we actually declare as a surplus. So I would like to get an
Quick
update on
question.
that.
Was that property ever declared surplus?
It was not, because we didn't receive, when you declare as a surplus, is because none of the city department present interest.
Right.
And the school department have sent a letter to us in regard to maintaining the property for the purpose of schooling. So it is a letter being sent by former superintendent Cynthia Paris, and we truly believe, I mean, Councilor Payano, myself, and a couple other councilors believe that we should have this building rebuilt, or do whatever we need to do to be able to accomplish that result.
One more question, if you may, if I may. Did the school department, when a property is set to other department heads, they have, not only are they supposed to say yes, they're supposed to also give a plan as to how they're gonna use it, how they're gonna fund the construction or whatever it is. Was that ever sent Because when I get back,
We-
I'll just,
We have received a letter from them presenting interest.
okay,
And now what we need to do as a city is understand the need, seeing what we have currently, and be able to develop around it. As you know, all of the school buildings are not school buildings necessarily, are city buildings that are used for the purpose of, for educational purposes. Obviously, they have jurisdiction on it and send us this building. But at this point, what we need to ensure is that the building is being maintained as a possible building that they have present interest. And we would like to get an update on that, if it's possible.
for the next housing committee meeting, or you want it at the next,
Well, let's do it for the next housing committee. So from here, we can actually send out a report as to what's the status. If the councilor would like to see, what's the status, and we can move forward with that.
And Mr. Chair, you are actually correct. If a city department declares an interest in a property, it wouldn't go to get surplus. Does it mean that if we declare a surplus afterwards, the city department says they need it, they could always come back and say they need a property, even if we declare a surplus? I will follow up, on this one in particular, because and you're right. A lot of schools, and we have two new buildings that are being built, the Oliver and the Leahy. And I'm based on projections and looking at, by the time those schools are actually finished, there might be an overcapacity as it is. So we might need to look at expanding educational facilities.
Thank you so much, councilors, at this
Hold on one
point.
second. You said one more thing. There was one more thing you said that I didn't catch. You said somebody was using the property, and you want to report on that.
I have seen somebody using the property, perhaps without, the council doesn't know nothing about it. But I'm pretty sure that it's not the school department.
Okay. I'll get you that for the next housing committee meeting.
Thank you so much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
At this point, councilor, there is any question in regard to 100 Summer Street? I entertain a motion to table.
So moved.
There is a motion on the table, properly second. There is a motion to table item 10721, properly second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Councilors, there is any other motion in regard to this meeting?
I don't have the agenda with me. Doyle Street.
Do you want to discuss these items? Councilors, can I get a motion to untable item 821?
So move.
Second.
All right, all those in favor, please say aye. All right, item 821 is the surplus declaration of Doyle Street, tax map 183, lot 25.
Council Chair.
So, you mind?
Council Chair, quick question on Doyle Street. Has that property ever been declared surplus? Or has it just been tabled at committee?
This item was never declared surplus?
Was it, that's my question. Has it ever been
Based on the
declared?
item we have in front of us, which is the surplus declaration, that means that we haven't taken this.
Okay,
So the item 821 is to declare this specific as a surplus first.
okay. Then I would like to retable, if I could do a little more research to see if we could get that declared surplus.
No problem. So, councilors, any question in regard to this item? All right, I entertain a motion to table.
Motion to table?
Second.
All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Any other items or any other motion at this point?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All right, there is a motion to adjourn. I call the question. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. The ayes have it.